I recently had the opportunity to attend ProcureCon in Nice, and it was my first time in Nice and my second time at ProcureCon. And I was lucky enough to meet some amazing leaders from the global and European procurement community. And I've worked with procurement leaders such as chief procurement officers, head of procurement, procurement directors, extended workforce managers, contingent workforce managers, indirect procurement over the last nearly 20 years of my career. And I've often thought about procurement as the ultimate relationship job. Yes, of course, it's about control. Yes, of course, it's about governance. Yes, of course, it's about getting the best deal for the company that you work for. And of course, yes, it's about getting cost savings. But I think what's often under-recognized and underappreciated is that the procurement and procurement leaders also have some of the best and first relationships with that whole ecosystem of suppliers, partners, and vendors. And oftentimes, those suppliers, partners, and vendors are at the cutting edge of technology or at the cutting edge of business, and they're offering real value to the company that the procurement leaders are representing. And some of those relationships are multi-year and also in many cases multi-decade. And I think that speaks volumes to the value that procurement leaders bring when it comes to relationships. The other thing that I wanted to mention as well is that the best procurement people that I've had the pleasure and the privilege of working with have the following characteristics. They have an innate sense of fairness. They're honest. They have a sense of justice or equality. Because in order to get the right deal and the best deal, you need to exemplify all those characteristics. And to my earlier points on relationship building and being the ultimate relationship builders, in order to establish trust, you need to have honesty, you need to have integrity, you need to have fairness, you need to have those innate senses of justice and about striking the right deal and the right bargain for the benefit of both parties. And I think the best procurement people exemplify those values and exemplify those traits. And it was really interesting for me as someone who's worked with procurement. Of course, I'm not in procurement. I'm on what I would describe as the sell or the solution side. But it was really interesting to hear procurement leaders not just speaking about cost savings. It was really interesting for me to hear about procurement leaders talking about the impact of AI on their organizations, the benefits of AI on their organizations, some of the potential negative or unintended consequences of AI on their organizations, about the value that they bring to their organizations, not just about cost savings, but about working with some leading edge technology and business providers, about bringing real innovation into their business, about building ecosystems to support their businesses from a partnership and vendor and supplier perspective, but also about procurement leading initiatives around sustainability, people sustainability, environmental sustainability, investing in suppliers, taking stakes in suppliers, particularly smaller suppliers, to ensure that they can continue to deliver. What I really enjoyed about spending time with those procurement leaders in ProcureCon was all the innovation that they bring to their businesses, all the thought leadership they bring to their business, all the protection measures they bring to their business. And I love the fact that all of that is based on trust, honesty, integrity, fairness, and a keen sense of justice, and really about that ecosystem that they build within their organization. So I'm really excited to see what's going to happen in the procurement sector, in the procurement world, particularly with the advances that AI is making. AI is helping procurement to, I suppose, get rid of some of the more mundane tasks, PO issuance, goods receipting, RFP creation, RFP audit, RFP review. AI can do a lot of those things really well. But what it can't do really well, at least yet, is build those long-term, sustainable, and scalable partnerships and relationships. And I'm really excited to see what happens in procurement and the procurement sector when it comes to relationship building, relationships evolving, and the sector and procurement professionals continuing to add value in this space.